Life is about taking chances, taking risks, jumping off of cliffs, and knowing, just knowing, that you're gonna fly.
Welcome to the Triple M podcast. My name is Adunna Harris, and I am the creator and owner of MarriedMommyMogul, also known as Triple M. In light of it being Mother's Day, which, as a mom, super excited because it's my second Mother's Day, so that's pretty awesome for me. In light of it being Mother's Day, I'm going to just jump right in and talk about my journey to and through motherhood thus far. So here we go. MarriedMommyMogul was created in my mind shortly after our miscarriage in 2017. I gained a bond with a couple of acquaintances I had known previously due to my miscarriage. You don't know how many women go through it until it happens to you. A lot of women don't talk about it. We feel embarrassed and ashamed for whatever the reasons. Not even whatever the reasons. Honestly, you feel embarrassed and ashamed because you feel like you failed. You feel like you could have done something different. You feel like you didn't do what you were supposed to as a woman. You have this one job that another gender cannot do. You can bring life to this world, and unfortunately, because it's not talked about a lot, and because it's a hush hush thing, and growing up, you're taught to keep family business. You don't ever get the yearning to talk outside about things of that nature, and I did. My mom raised me to be a super duper strong, outspoken woman. So for me, and when it comes to trauma and pain, the easiest thing for me to do is write and or talk about it, because it helps me to release. During that time, I was going through my dance season, and there was a couple of acquaintances that had grown to friends, family, that I had spoken to about when I actually got pregnant. And then when I lost the baby, there were a couple individuals who had previously gone through the same thing that became really close friends, became another sect of my friendship tribe, family tribe that I have. And for me, a tribe is a community of people that you get to pick for yourself. As most of you probably know, all family ain't really family. And so your tribe becomes those people that you genuinely love, and that love you back. And for me, during that time, it was necessary for me to have that tribe, because I wouldn't have been able to grow through that experience to be able to be where I am today, that I can talk and not cry. Don't get me wrong, you have your moments where you do, you feel it, especially around the time, the anniversary of the miscarriage. I get very, very emotional because it still hurts. Losing a kid at any part of any stage is really hard. And there's always going to be a little portion, a piece of my heart that didn't grow back, that was taken by my baby girl, and it will never be reformed. My daughter now is the greatest blessing I could have ever had, but she doesn't take over the pain that I had before. My heart just grew. So the mommy tribe grew for me, and then I had been with my now husband for, that was 2017, so for 4 years at that point. And we had talked about marriage and kids and all that stuff, but going through that with him was a bigger hurdle to get over. And now being 2 years married, there was a married tribe, a tribe full of people that are like-minded, and even not so much people that are married, but people that their goal is to spend their life with their significant other. They have found that one person, that partner, that spouse that they would want to spend the rest of their lives with. I don't believe in the societal thought of marriage, which a lot of people put a lot of pressure on the wedding itself. As far as marriage is concerned, I married my husband a long time ago, long before we went to the courthouse and actually officially got married. Spiritually, we were linked from very, very early in our relationship. I knew that he was it, and we've talked about it, and he said the same thing. He knew I was it, and it's just going on that journey with that person. So forming that tribe was a necessity for me, and now being on this entrepreneurship journey that I'm on in regards to Married Mommy Mogul and other businesses that I have, that was a tribe in itself. And I felt like as a collective, for women specifically, and mainly Black women and women that look like me, it was important to form a group and a community that loves on each other and keeps each other accountable. And I am blessed and highly favored to be able to have that now in my life. So it kind of just made sense, Married Mommy Mogul. I am working on attaining it all. I am not just a mom. I am not just somebody's wife. I am not just me as a singular person. I am me and all of those things combined. And although it is hard work, it is absolutely possible to be able to attain everything that you want in life. And that's basically what Married Mommy Mogul is. So, as for my mommy journey, as stated before, the miscarriage was pretty hard on me. And as God would have it, not too long after we conceived our daughter Malia, surprisingly. And it was a really super duper hard, I can't say super duper, because I know for me it was hard. I know there are other people that go through way worse in their pregnancy, but I was sick for the majority of my pregnancy. And then it went away in my 3rd trimester. And then about 2-3 weeks maybe prior to me giving birth, I got sick all over again. I lost 30 pounds during my pregnancy and gained 9. And to a lot of people, they'll be like, yo, I would love to lose 30 pounds. But it was scary because, you don't really hear that happen, right? So you hear people gaining in excess of weight and then trying to lose it. And for me, it was the complete opposite, but more so because I was so sick and really couldn't keep anything down my 1st trimester. My 2nd wasn't as bad, but still had a hard time eating certain things. It was rough. It was rough, but my mental state in going through the miscarriage prior to, and just the fact that I loved kids from such an early age, I wanted to be a mom. And so it was like on me to make sure that I protect myself and my energy and my mental state as well as my physical state regularly. I was so adamant about no one touching me, and even my friends, they would ask to touch me because they knew how strongly I was against anybody's negative energy that they might be harnessing subconsciously. A lot of people walk around and they're not sure, they'll have a bad day, and I didn't want anything. And a lot of it, some of it was fear, because going through what we went through, it's hard. It doesn't go away, basically. It is not something that, ooh, I'm pregnant now. Yay, great. I don't have to think about what happened before. No, it is, oh my God, I'm pregnant. This is the best thing in the world. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. I'm freaking out because what if X, Y, and Z happens? And what if I can't? And what if? And what if? And what if? So it is the most exhilarating, happy, joyous, anxious, fearful process ever. And then when they get here, that really doesn't change because now you have this whole human being that you have to take care of. And anything could go wrong. Like, this world can be cruel. I don't like to look at it in a negative sense and say this world is bad, because I don't believe the world is. I believe that bad things happen, but not that the actual world is bad. I feel like people have the ability to put forth in their life and manifest what they say. I think your tongue, and yes, I am spiritual, so a lot of the times I will reference the Bible. Sometimes I will go to God because that is the first and foremost thing in my life. I talk about energy, I talk about spirits, I talk about the universe, I am a very spiritual person. So for me, I think and I believe wholeheartedly that your tongue and your mind are the most powerful weapons that you possess as a human being. And what you speak out is exactly what will manifest itself. And even if you don't speak it and you think it, 9 times out of 10, that will manifest itself as well. And then here you are like, ooh, I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, you did, because you kind of called it down. It's really important to make sure that you speak peace and joy and fullness and life and roots and being grounded. And that's all I tried to maintain as I was pregnant. So as much as it was a hard thing for me, it was also really gratifying. I am a weirdo. So I've been called. I loved being pregnant. As crazy as it sounds, I would do it over and over again. Yeah, it's hard and it's very taxing on your body, but I loved the feeling of being able to grow a human being in me. Like, it's such an amazing feeling that, yeah, we're gonna do it again. God willing, we have our boy, and then I'm pretty sure we'll be done. But if it's God's plan, then we won't be. But I enjoyed my pregnancy. And a lot of people always used to say, oh my God, you look so great, you're glowing. And I was like, I cannot thank God enough for not looking how I feel, because I felt horrible, but radiated something completely different on the outside. And I think that had a lot to do with how much work I was putting into making sure that my mental, my emotional, my physical state was sound and grounded at all times, even as hormonal and emotional as I might have been. In 3 weeks, my daughter will be 2. And I've been reminiscing in the last couple of weeks, just looking at pictures and looking at her while she sleeps, while she eats, while she plays, while she engages and learns, and just watching her mind like work in overtime. And I am so in awe that, one, we were able to create this little thing and 2, of how fast it is going. 2 years ago, I'm like, oh, I have to go through 9, almost 10 months of pregnancy. I was 1 day off of being 10 months pregnant. And just to see her now, walking and talking and formulating her own mind and being so confident in her nose, and just the little angel devil, more angel that she is, and how it's amazing to just watch us grow. And you never really are able to put yourself in your parents' shoes until you are yourself a parent. And my mom has always been my rock. She's always been my ride or die. That is my bestie. We fight like best friends as well. We annoy each other like best friends as well. And I knew and I learned exactly what I wanted, what type of mom I wanted to be from my mom, from watching her triumph and watching her fail. And I don't say fail as a bad thing, because we all fail. We try and something doesn't work, and we try something different and something doesn't work, and that in itself is a failure. And I want people to get out of the habit of thinking about failure as a horrible thing. In order to succeed in life, you have to fail and learn how to fail well, so that it doesn't overwhelm your spirit and your soul on how you move forward in life. So like for me as a mom, like I wanted to raise, and I continue to want to raise, a free child. Free in mental state, free physically, free emotionally, free spiritually. And with that comes a lot of responsibility on my part to end generational curses that I had said from the beginning that I wanted to stop with me. I did a lot of work prior to my pregnancy, but definitely during my pregnancy, on myself, and coming to terms with certain things, certain relationships, with family, coming to terms with past trauma, childhood trauma that I knew that I needed to move through and journey through and really work through it. Not say that I was going to work through it and do little tidbits here and there. No, actually work through it so that I could be the mom that I so desperately said I was going to be, so that I could raise the woman, the son, hopefully soon, the children that I knew I wanted to raise and how I wanted to raise them. There are things I don't want her to go through at the hands of me or her father or her childhood. She's going to go through her own trauma. She's going to go through her own, my kids are going to go through their own things. All children go through their own things. I want to be able to make sure that none of the trauma that she endures that is longer lasting is at my hand, or is at my husband's hand, or that I can save her. Save her from certain things. I can shelter her from certain things, and that doesn't mean sheltering her from life. She's going to have to learn how to move through. She's going to have to fall, and not just physically. She's going to have to make mistakes. But I have to be comfortable in knowing that I did my damnedest as her mom to raise the woman that I know she's going to be, to know that I can assure her that when she comes to me and is venting or is crying or needs a shoulder, that I have the ability to look her in her eye, dead straight as I'm looking you right now, to tell her that I believe in you. And yeah, you're going to fall. And yeah, you're going to make mistakes. And hell, yeah, you're going to disappoint me sometimes because we're not going to agree on things. But I know the woman that I raised. I know the woman that you are and that you were called to be. So I am absolutely sure and confident that you're going to get up from this situation and you're going to walk with your head held high moving forward. And like, those are just the things that I think about, and how I want to be as a mom. It is my second Mother's Day, and it's gratifying to come to this second Mother's Day, because there were times, you know, even after my miscarriage, that I didn't know if this was going to be a thing. if I was gonna be able to be a mom, you know, in that sense, because I always knew I do want to eventually adopt, but I want to adopt either younger or the same age as my kids. So waiting till they get a little older, until I'm done naturally having kids. Um, I would love to adopt a child, and generally an older child, because those are the children that are kind of left in the dark. Either way, I knew I was going to be a mom, but it is amazing to be able to bring life into this world by my own hands. As women, I think we forget that we are gods among men. We are strong. We are there. We are the only species to be able to go through 57 Del, and that is the amount of pain, the level of pain, tolerance for a human being, and come back from it. That is the approximate level of pain during birth, and to be able to do that. And my best friend tells it better than I do, because obviously the way she tells it, I was zoned out completely. But she had the opportunity to be in the delivery room with me and my husband, and the way she tells it is I zoned out. My delivery was 15 minutes, 10 pushes, and she was like, you were just a different person. You turned into I don't even know the words, but if I think back on it, I remember pushing. Oh, and we're gonna get to that in a second, to the whole hospital experience. But I remember pushing, and then I remember hearing that little cry and being like, can I get my baby? And just being in awe of, and everything just clicked. It just clicks. Like, everything you think of, and a lot of times I tell even friends that are currently pregnant or have been pregnant. I said it to a young lady today, and I was like, listen, you're a damn good mom already for being anxious, because that means you care. Everything is going to click. Don't worry about, there's always going to be something to do. As I stand here looking, or sit here rather, looking at my child's toys on the floor, there's always going to be something to do. That your job is nonstop. But having the ability to just be still. And in that moment, when they placed her in my arms, nothing mattered. Nothing. Not even love my husband to death. Not even him. I went into a secret, spiritual, higher place, just looking down at, and if I get emotional, please bear with me, but looking down at this human being laying right here, because they placed her right here, and looking at her little face was the most amazing, gratifying experience I have ever had in my life, and one that will probably, they always say your second child is different. Your first is your first is your first is your first, just like your first anything. But to just look at Malia, Jesus, lay right here as she wasn't even crying. She did a little thug cry. Her daddy calls her a thug all the time. She did a little thug cry, and then she was good, and she smiled, and she's just the most amazing thing. And I can thank nothing and no one but my Lord and Savior for giving me the opportunity to be a mom, to be her mom. Man, I got off on a tangent, and I'm sorry. Ooh, baby. Kids will make you like this, man. They will make you very emotional. Whew, baby. Even my thug husband, he be emotional when it comes to girls. Have a way of doing that though. Girls can pull that out of you. But yeah, so the hospital experience. I am blessed that I have the most amazing GYNs ever. Shout out to the doctor's building on Palisades Avenue in Teaneck. Shout out to Dr. Ajan and Dr. Federella, because he's the one who ended up delivering Malia, who he delivered my middle sister. Dr. Ajan delivered my baby sister. And I was due on the 30th of May, and he was on call the 30th of May. And he came into my my room that day and was like, "You couldn't wait? You couldn't wait?" And I was like, "Don't talk to me. It's the baby." But I was blessed. Shout out to Holy Name Hospital, because you hear a lot of horror stories about delivery and women in this country and black women in this country, and their horror stories about life in hospitals and dealing with doctors. And I can honestly say I have not, thankfully, come in contact with a doctor that doesn't make me a priority, doesn't make my concerns a priority, doesn't listen to me and hear me and understand me from my perspective. Not for most of the GYNs at the office are brown people, which I think help. Dr. Federella is not, but he's been doing it for so long. He knew me when my mom was going there and she was having my sisters. So to see me and see generations, they took precedence. And to the nurses at Holy Name, I can't remember her name, but one in particular that I had seen, I had a scare 2 weeks before, which is why my doctor put me on bed rest prior to my delivery. And she was there. She was my delivery nurse as well. And she was just so amazing, like so attentive. And so she knew that I was mom, and I had the last say, and I make the calls, and it's me. And she valued and respected me as a woman, as a secure woman, as a first-time mom, as someone who, as a human being, as a human being. So I definitely thank them. I am high risk, so I had to see 2 different doctors during my pregnancy, and both sets were amazing continuously. And I said, as long as I stay in Jersey, I don't care how far I am, those are the doctors that I'm going to. That is the hospital that I would rather deliver at, because of how it happened, of how everything went down, of just that whole experience was great for me. And I wish that, and I pray that for anyone and everyone to go through pregnancy and motherhood, that, and just motherhood in general, that you have a gratifying experience, that it is something that, you know, you don't shudder at the thought, that it is as much a learning experience and a teaching experience for you, that you continue to grow and elevate in your womanhood and who you are and raising your children. I wouldn't trade motherhood for the world. I will say though, if you don't want kids, don't have them. That's okay. I have friends who don't want kids. They're the most amazing aunties, funny enough, but they don't want it. And if that's what you want out of life, pick your life, decide your life, choose your life, walk your journey. Don't let anybody else push on you their thoughts and their opinions and their feelings of who you should be as a woman. You are your own best and worst enemy. You are your own best friend and your own worst enemy. But you will be your best friend as long as you work at it and you try your hardest. It is this life thing, and there's a life thing in 2020, considering where we're at in this stay at home, in this pandemic, is not easy. But it's still your life. And because we know that time is fleeting, that's something that doesn't change. Time is going to continue regardless of how you choose and what you choose. So why not choose the best things for you? Why not triumph and persevere through your trials and tribulations the best way you know how? Your best life is you accomplishing everything you set out. Your greatest accomplishment is being the best you that you can be. Whether that be in mommyhood, whether that be in marriage, whether that be as your singular person in your career going after your goals and your ambitions, whatever that may be. And you being a mogul doesn't, for me, doesn't mean that you have to be an entrepreneur and you have to have your own business and you have to. Some people are 9-to-5ers. Some people enjoy, or 12 to 12ers, or 7 to 7, or 12-hour shifts. I am in essence both, I guess. I love teaching. I love being a teacher. It does my soul great to be a teacher, and to be able to foster growth in young minds and help them to be the best little humans they can be, to grow up to be the best big humans they can be. But I also love this. I love being able to be a source of elevation for any woman. It gives me so much joy to have somebody come to me and have them talk out their own problems and get them to a place where they can move. I am blessed to say that my best friend says that I motivate her, and that makes me happy, because in life all you should want out of a life is to at least bless one person. And with this platform, I have the ability to bless so many. And with that, that was one of the reasons it was really important for me to do this Mother's Day giveaway, because a lot of times we don't get the recognition and the love that we deserve, and sometimes we are single moms who are doing it by ourselves, and we just want somebody to say, thank you. We just want somebody to say that we love you. We just want a hug. We just want to know that we're on somebody's mind. We just want appreciation. You are not meant to be in this life alone. You are not meant to do this thing called life alone. And if that means with a spouse or friends, just showing you admiration and love, that's life. That's the importance of life. That's the importance of love. That's the importance of sisterhood. That's the importance of your tribe. That is the importance of the Triple M tribe. That is what we stand on. Perseverance, love, elevation to your highest highs. Holding each other accountable for what we said we want out of life. That is Married Mommy Mogul. So I don't want you to think that you have to be any of the three to be a part of the tribe. You just have to want the best for your life. And to the good part, the winners of our first Married Mommy Mogul giveaway are Nicole W., Imani A., Leanna B., Ikela D., and Dominique P. I'll be reaching out to you guys for some more information so that I can get those boxes sent to you ASAP and you can bask in the greatness of self-care just for you. My name is Adunna Harris, and thank you for sitting with me today. I appreciate it. Tune in for episode 2 next Sunday. Mwah.